A little over a year ago, I showed you guys what's in my photography bag on the day of a wedding. I wanted to revisit that because I've changed some stuff. So this is my 2017 photography bag for weddings. These are my 3 bags I take to a wedding. I've got a big kind of suitcase right here. I've got more of a book bag style thing right here, which is actually my assistant's bag. And I have just a shoulder bag that I use for the odds and ends that I carry throughout the day, lenses, stuff like that. If you've seen my last video, you'll notice that I pretty much had this same bag. This is just a bigger version of it. This is the Think Tank Retrospective 10 instead of the Think Tank Retrospective 5. Still the same blue color. It's a great bag. I have a little half insert here. I don't know if you can see that. Get some light on it. Right here, that kind of splits this middle pocket. So I can put 2 prime lenses in here. I can carry 2 big zooms on either side, or I can carry 4 or 5 prime lenses if I have to. I've got plenty of room up here for a flash and other accessories. I usually carry my radio trigger. On the sides here, I'll keep my cell phone. Then on the other side, I'll keep my wallet and a knife. And then in the back, I have space for my timeline, other documents, snacks, stuff like that. Yeah, it's a great bag. I really like it, and it's probably going to be one of the things that is a mainstay of my kit if I keep doing these year after year. All right, and I'll also open this guy up to get it out of the way. This is my assistant's bag. Literally, it just has a 7200 attached to a Nikon D750, mostly for ceremony stuff. So that's usually when my assistant will start shooting. This is actually packed up. I shot 2 weddings over the weekend, so I still have a lot of stuff in here from that wedding where we did photo and video. So this is just audio stuff. The rest of this is just audio stuff. We have some throat lozenge, cough suppressants, whatever you call them. Get rid of that. All right, so this is my main gear bag, which has most of the stuff I'll use on the day, including my backup equipment. Out in front here, I've got the Yongnuo YN360, something like that, which is a nice little video light that throws more of almost like a strip box type light. And then moving into the inside of the bag, I have this lens. Actually, it's not supposed to be in here. It's a little 12mm video lens for Sony, which I'll get to in a second. I also have 2 video lights right here on this side of the bag. That's better right there. These are 2 little floodlights right here. One's bicolor, one's daylight. See, I marked them with Sharpie. Then you might also notice I really like lighting. I have 6 of these flashes. This is a Sony flash. The rest of these are Nikons, but these are the Cheetah 860 V2, maybe, something like that. Anyway, the magic of these is that they take ion lithium battery instead of AA's, so one will last the entire wedding, and they recycle incredibly fast, and they're just a great flash, and that's why I have 6 of them, because I really like them. And the other great thing is that this Sony one will command these Nikon ones, so I didn't have to buy all new flashes when I switched to Sony, which is what I did because I got this baby. It's a Sony A9, and it kind of changed the way I shot weddings this past year. I went from shooting almost exclusively for the last 4 years. Oh, this flash is on. One of these flashes is on. That's on. Like I said, I just shot yesterday, so this bag is basically just packed from last night, essentially. This camera's on also. Okay. So this is my D750, which has been kind of my workhorse camera for the past 4 years. Whenever this camera came out, I think I got it the week it came out. And I actually own 2 of them. And it's been a fantastic camera, but I've been kind of playing with the idea of using mirrorless last year I shot with the Fuji a lot, which did a lot of cool things that I couldn't do with the Nikon because it was the mirrorless technology. Then this year when the A9 came out, I picked it up, again, I think the week it came out. And like I've just been loving this camera. I think it's really a great wedding tool. And it's a lot of the things that you don't actually hear about this camera, which make it great. Like for me, the biggest feature for this camera is that you can set it to be completely silent. So that during like the getting ready, during the ceremony, during those candid moments when you don't want to necessarily draw a lot of attention to yourself, this is amazing. It's an amazing tool for that. The other thing I really like, which I'll probably touch on a little bit later, is that there's a button right here to shoot video immediately. So I've been doing wedding coverage where I shoot photo and video, which you'll probably see coming out in the next couple of weeks. And then the rest of my kit, if you've seen the video from last year, is basically really similar. Let me move this camera up so I'm not like, you're not just staring at my mouth. There we go. Yeah, that's better. I took a lot of the Nikon stuff out to make room for a lot of the Sony stuff I bought. So I'm just gonna rip through the Nikon stuff really fast so you can see it. I sold my 85 Sigma 1.4. I have the Sigma 24-35, which is actually the lens my assistant uses a lot when she wants coverage of stuff that's, you need a wide angle for. So that's actually why I've held on to that lens. I've got also a Sigma 12-24. I really wish Sigma would start making Sony lenses that fit full frame. I would buy them immediately. I really like Sigma lenses. Yeah, I actually don't have, oh, here's a Nikon lens that I use on Sony. So this is a Nikon 35mm PE, I think. That's what they call it. So this is a lens that does shift out of the box, and I bought a converter that lets it do tilt. So I can do tilt and shift movements with on my Sony camera with an old Nikon manual focus lens. And it's a really cool effect. I really like it. It's a very sharp lens also, which is great. I also have this Nikon lens, which is a Nikon 105 2.8 macro lens, AI, whatever. It's from, I think, the 70s or 80s. And it's a very sharp macro lens, and I use it for like ring shots. It's got the converter on it for Sony as well. So basically, I bought the Sony at the beginning of the wedding season. I think I bought it like 2 or 3 days before my first wedding. And I shot with it like a little bit at that first wedding, just like stuff where I already had the shots done with the Nikon, like during getting ready, shots of makeup and stuff, just to kind of practice with it, see if I liked it. And as I continued moving through the season, I shot more and more with it. And essentially, I just started leaving my Nikons in the bag because I was really digging the Sony images, and just the way of making images it felt really good. I still have my little Nikon broken 50mm tilt shift. Didn't really use that a whole lot this year. I mostly stuck with that tilt shift. What else do I have in here? I've got a Nikon 50-1.4, which is a lens I hate, but it's so tiny that I just threw it in here. I don't think I shot a single frame on this photo all year. Should probably take it out of my bag. Oh, what else? I guess I'll do the Sony lenses now. So I have, actually I should do them in the order that I purchased them. So the first lens I bought actually was these two. I bought the, actually it was this one. I bought the Sony 28mm f2, just because I thought I would just use the A9 for like reception coverage, just kind of running around like that and taking those wide angle shots, and then have my Nikon on the other hip with like an 85 on it. That changed a little bit later in the year once I got comfortable with the Sony. So I purchased this 28. It's pretty cheap lens. It's not super fast, but I really like the way it renders pictures. And it's so light, especially on this mirrorless body. It's crazy. Like, that's tiny. I can have that up over my head all day shooting, and it's not a problem at all. It flares really nicely, which is, I guess it happens a lot in the reception that you get like crazy DJ lights in the backgrounds. So having a nice flare is good for that type of lens. Throw this cap back on. The next lens I purchased was, I believe, the 55-1.8. I might be mixing, it doesn't matter. Which is a really nice prime lens. Again, just super light. It renders really beautifully. This is the only Zeiss branded lens I have. If that means anything to anyone, it doesn't mean anything to me. It's another pretty small lens, especially with the cap off, or the lens hood. And it's nice, it renders really nice. And it has sort of a look to it. After that, I purchased the Workhorse 7200 2.8 G Master lens, which is the best 7200 lens I think I've ever used, including the Nikon ones and the Fuji 50-140, which was also a great lens. But this thing's just a monster. It's actually bigger than my Nikon version. And I'm okay with that, because if I'm reaching for this lens, size is not the issue. I want what this lens does. I want that property, and I want it good, and this delivers. Especially with the Sony, the mirrorless features I really like, which kind of warrants its own video, but the mirrorless features I really like is the ability to focus directly on an eye. I don't have like pictures anymore that are just a little bit soft, because the camera phase detection couldn't quite lock on. Like, that's not a thing with mirrorless. That's why I'm so excited about this technology, because I'm not having to shoot 3 frames for every image. I want one good picture of one in focus, tack sharp image. I think that's gonna be its own video. Then the final Sony lens I purchased, not Fuji, selling my Fuji stuff if anyone wants to buy it. The final Sony lens I purchased this year is the 16-35 G Master lens. I picked this up because I needed a wide angle. 28 is okay, but it's not super wide. So it was between this and the 12-24 f4. I chose this just because I feel like 16-35 is a really good range for the kind of stuff I do. Anything over 16 is a little bit crazy. And 35 is enough reach. I really don't like mid-range zooms, like a 24-70. I think it's kind of a lazy lens, where like you're better off just using an 85 or using a 28 or 24, because or a 50, rather than just like, here's one lens that does it all. No, move your feet. That could be another video. All right, what else do I have in here? I'll take this lens out since we went over that. Take this out because we went over that. I'll leave those flashes in there because there's a million of them. I just have a card wallet with a bunch of cards. A lot of them are not in here because we shot 2 weddings in a row. So they are sitting at my desk right now until I confirm that I have good quality backups. I've got more batteries, lots of batteries. I've got a flash trigger. This is for Sony. And I think I've got another one for, oh, no, that's a spare battery for my flashes. I got a battery for these video lights. I usually carry 3 of these. I think they're on the charger right now. But yeah, these just pop on and good to go. Take that off. So yeah, I usually carry 2 small ones and 1 big one of these. They're Sony NP style batteries. These aren't actually Sony, these are Wasabi Power. Oh yeah, I also have the Nikon branded flash transmitter just in case. Like I said, I kind of moved away from Nikon stuff. I've got my tri-flash bracket, which is my favorite thing ever. I didn't actually use it as much as usual because I was mostly using the big like Godox 360, I think it's called, light, which is super powerful and has insanely good recycle times. And it syncs with all of these lights. That's been another like huge thing, and I actually don't have it with me, otherwise I would show that as part of this video. So the other things I guess I don't have that I should have to like show you all the gear I use on a wedding day is I carry a bag with 3 stands in it that stays in my car. I have a big light that's on a stand, the Godox 360 stays in my car. I pull it out like for ceremony, for big group pictures. Not for the ceremony, for after the ceremony, the big group pictures. And what else do I, oh, someone's calling me. And I always have a tripod, which stays in the car. I use tripods for photo and video, obviously. And those are actually all currently in my car right now, so I had to rig up a camera stand with this camera on it right now. Let's see, what else do I have in here? Oh, I've got a Sony battery, because mirrorless cameras kind of eat through batteries pretty fast. These are pretty good. I can make it through a wedding on just 3 of these batteries. They're double the capacity of the old ones. And like I said, this camera I feel like was built for the way I shoot weddings. And then let's see what else I have in here. I have the Magmod stuff. That's not too exciting. I think I went into that more on my old video if you are curious about that. More Magmod stuff, and I think some gels for flashes. Then the front here, I've got a reflector. I've got a shoot-through umbrella. And this one, I've got a little flash holder thing that'll hold an umbrella as well. I think I like this one over the old style ones because it's just flatter, so it fits in the bag a little bit better. And it does take the Bowens mount stuff, which is kind of what all my flashes and stuff are, all my flash modifiers are now. Actually, because of that 360, Godox 360 light, which I've kind of used as my main light. So yeah, that is my entire arsenal of lighting, lenses, and cameras for weddings for 2017. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. And also I will put a link to my old video from last year so you can see that as well. One last thing I wanted to mention, just in case anyone noticed, is I have a little Peak design toggle for their camera straps. I also have this spider clip thing. I have both of these on this camera depending on what I'm using it for. I use the spider clip during a wedding, and I use the Peak design things when I'm shooting handheld video, which when I did the Fusion wedding, I actually switched between them during the day depending on what stage of the day it was in. I actually really like this design. It's very clever. So I would definitely recommend that. I'm not sure I would like their belt clip, which is why I still have the spider clip thing, which I have liked for years. That's it. Like I said before, like, comment, subscribe, or yeah, like, comment, subscribe. But also, if you guys have any questions, please let me know.